Hi friends, I'm Dave Barklow, pastor at Fort Walton Beach First United Methodist. Welcome to the Pastor's Study, our daily devotional to help us focus our mind on the things of God. We are looking at ways that we can connect with God in solitude, and that is taking time deliberately away from other things in order to be with God. And we've talked about praying through sacred reading, through centering prayer, through the daily office. And today I want to talk about another practice that helps us connect with God, and it enhances our prayer life. It's not a method of praying necessarily, but that is the practice of fasting. I think it's important to notice that Jesus talks about fasting. In Matthew chapter 6, verse 16, he's giving instructions about fasting, and he says, "Whenever you fast, do not look dismal like the hypocrites, for they disfigure their faces so to show others that they are fasting. Truly I tell you, they have received their reward in full. But when you fast, put oil on your head and wash your face, so that your fasting may be seen not by others, but by your Father who is in secret. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you." Now, obviously, Jesus' point of that is that fasting should be between you and God. You should be doing it for the adulation from human beings. But yet, Jesus also uses the words, "when you fast." Fasting is a practice that Jesus fully expected his followers to be part of. In fact, elsewhere in the Gospels, some of John's disciples come to him and say, "Why don't your disciples fast?" And Jesus says, when the bridegroom is there, you don't fast. You wait for the bridegroom to be taken away. Then they will fast. And so now is the time when we as Christians should be participating in fasting. Fasting, in its heart, is a denial of the physical to emphasize the spiritual. It is us giving up something, typically eating, although it can be other things. It could be TV watching. It could be video game playing. It could be Facebook or social media after you watch this. But anything where we are denying something in order to tell God that God is the most important thing in our life. And then what happens is we have free time. If we're not eating lunch, we can spend that time in prayer. If we're not watching TV, we can spend that time in prayer. If we're not playing around on social media, we can spend that time in prayer. So fasting is a way of emphasizing the importance of God in our lives, to ourselves and to the Father, but then also freeing up time to pray. No matter how we choose to pray, whether it's reading our devotional books, whether it's practicing something like centering prayer or the daily offices, fasting allows us to emphasize our relationship with God, our connection with God. And maybe you've never done fasting before. Let me encourage you to try it. Obviously, if you have health issues, don't do it around food. Do it around something else. But it is something that I think you can find very meaningful. I know I have found meaningful in my own life. Remember, friends, I love you. Take care of yourselves and shine the light of Christ.